So, Kevin Kelly, you know who he is, right? Kevin Kelly, the co-founder of Wired magazine. Now he has a quote, a very nice quote. I don't remember the exact quote, but it basically says this. It says that everything in society is based upon communication. Everything, politics, economy, education, based on communication. If you want to put it that way, right? It's all based on communication. So when there are new innovations that come out and alter the method that we communicate in, inevitably, economics will be altered, politics will be altered, society will be altered, education will be altered. Because communication is at the center of all those things, right? So when you innovate and you have new technologies that alter communication, everything else changes. And we've seen how the internet has changed business. I mean, I don't think I need to elaborate or give any points. Just look at the stock market. Now you can go buy your own stocks, trade online. You don't need a stockbroker anymore. So the internet has changed business so massively. It's just insane.
How does this tie into your book? How does this tie into your book?
How does this tie into my book? Now it comes to my point. Again, nothing prepared. Just off the top of my head. But there's actually something very fascinating happening right now. Now, maybe you might not notice it, but me being where I came from originally, I noticed it, and it's the effect of the internet on religion, right? Now, just to throw in an introduction to let you know where I'm going with this. We all know how Wikipedia started, and how everyone opposed Wikipedia said, oh, Wikipedia is going to be garbage. How the hell can you have an encyclopedia written by some average dumb retard? You know, I mean, it's just like, it's not going to be even like up to the standard. And years later, look what happened. We have an excellent encyclopedia. It's not perfect, right? Anybody can go at it. We have some vandalism happening sometimes, but overall, it's pretty damn good, right? Now the same thing with religion. You have a group of religious scholars who interpret things based on their own thinking, and who of course want to maintain their influence and their positions of power, right? And they don't want the average people to interpret things. Why? Because they're afraid that interpretation will be radically different from theirs. Same kind of argument that you heard with Wikipedia before. Now what if we did the same thing to religion, let's say? Actually, we don't even have to propose this idea, because it's already happening, especially in the Middle East, where there is no freedom of speech, and you can't criticize, you can't say, you can't even question. Now, I'm not saying this to offend people here. My intention is not to come and give ideas that offend people. It's just to share, you know, things that are happening that people might not be noticing. So I noticed this thing. I'm like, you know what? Let's write a book about it, since nobody's talking about it. And that's basically pretty much it, because, you know, I'm just giving you an idea. Maybe you can take it home and think about it, because where I came from, right now the internet is just revolutionizing things so massively. For the first time, people can just go online, start a blog, and start questioning the religious establishment. And this has never, ever been possible. You get accused of being a heretic, and best case scenario, people will harass you a little bit. Worst case scenario, you just get put to death. Right?
This is a bit of death.
Yeah.
Specifically, how does it change? I mean, besides questioning, we all know that questioning happens. In fact, with or without the internet, the questioning will happen. So, how does it change?
One, access to information.
Yes.
Over here, I'm actually quite impressed with Malaysia. I mean, this is my perspective. I mean, I walked into Kinokuni the other day, and I saw a bunch of books, and he has all kinds of books. And all of a sudden I see Richard Dawkins, The God Illusions, you know? I'm like, wow, they're actually selling this here. Then I see Sam Harris, The End of Faith. I'm like, holy crap, this is actually being here. You know, presented and being sold and everything. Together with a bunch of other books showing all kinds of diverse perspectives. So Kinokuni represented a free marketplace of ideas, and it had all these different perspectives. Whereas where I come from, if you go into a library, you will never find books like that. All the books will be stacked in a nice specific way, and they'll have a very biased perspective that benefits the religious elite, which cooperates with the government, and therefore they benefit each other. And there's just no access to information or access to knowledge that you've never been exposed to before. So for the first time, people can go online and, let's say, read a book about whatever subject that they want to read about. So that's the most powerful thing. Now, number two, people's minds are getting influenced, and there's a revolution happening, right? An intellectual revolution. So, okay, I'm having all these crazy ideas going in my head, and I'm trying to find people with the same way of thinking. Now, what does the internet now allow us to do? Network. And so you network online, and next thing you know, you're actually meeting these people offline, like how we, are here. So these are just like a few of the examples that I'm giving about how the internet is revolutionizing and changing religion, the same way it's changing business and all these things.
That's actually a brilliant idea, but you have to get teaser. I mean, what's your book going to then say?
Okay, my book, my book is basically going to say that freedom of thought is extremely important. Having a free marketplace of ideas is very important because it allows innovation. And the internet right now, for society where there is no freedom of expression and no freedom of thinking, it provides a platform and it provides a space where people can actually go discuss and express themselves. Now, it's not like a big deal right now.
Yeah, so what will the future look like?
That's exactly. The future will be more open, more democratized. People will be allowed to think what they want, say what they want, have access to the information that they want. And to some people that might be scary, to some people they might like it, but that's where it's heading towards now. Some countries have very small access of internet small percentage. So it's not like a big, thing that's happening right now. But let's say, if you look at Malaysia, for example, maybe not specifically in religion, but the results of the election, which I won't comment about. But basically, if you've been following the Malaysian blogosphere, you would realize that a large reason that how the election turned out was because of new media, and even the government admitted it.
But how will, say, a religion like maybe Islam change because of all the said? I promise I'll buy a book. You agree? How will Islam change?
Well, in the long term, people will have access to information that they never had access to before.
How will the practice of the religion change? How will...
Well, I mean, it's hard to predict. The thing is, it's evolving. Exactly. I don't have all the answers. Because right now, this thing is just starting out. And people are just starting to pay attention to it. So it's a very fascinating topic. Exactly what's going to happen, I have no idea. All I know is you're going to have a free marketplace of ideas. You're going to have access to information you never had access to before.
Right. So why write a book? Why don't you just go ahead and start a project? A Wikipedia,
I've got a bunch of blogs. Some of them are anonymous. I'd like to keep them that way.
Fine. Why not start up a Wikipedia on religion, but make it anonymous? Fine.
Religiopedia.
Wikipedia.
And start up.
Are you a printing manager somewhere?
That's cool. Invent your own set of religions. Set up.
No,
I mean, Zionism. So it's up to you. Yeah, a Wikipedia, right? Be anonymous. I totally understand why you want to be anonymous. Be anonymous, but start it out and just see the project.
That's a pretty good idea. I mean, actually, like my background is not really a technical person.
You don't need a technical person,
but yeah,
to do that.
open
Look at
source.
Barcamp. We're surrounded by technical people.
Yeah, I think we should experiment. It's not to take your hand away, but anyone in the audience just want to give that a shot. Like, how will the practice of Islam change?
No, the practice will not change. The practice will not change.
So it's a thinking.
Ideally, I think it's about choice. It's about choice. More choice.
So are more people going to defect from?
No. It's not that. The religion will not change. It will not change. I think what Amir is pointing out is sharing of information. Right? There are certain parts of the world where not all the information is taken down the funnel. Right?
I can say something controversial here. I think that Islam will change in the way that women are not kept down the way that they are.
Exactly.
I think, real quick, I was in New York during September 11th, about 20 blocks away, and so I've had time to think about that. Man, why did this happen? And did it happen because of Israel? Did it happen because of, the U.S. going and blowback from the CIA But what I really think is going on is I think that satellite dishes are pumping information, the internet is pumping information, and in Islam, the vast kingdom ends at the doorstep. All right, it's your doorknob is, all right, and the man is still king, all right, behind that door. But when the satellite dish is sending in information and the magazine is sending in information to the wives and the daughters, where they think, well, you know what, I can go to school and I can do this and I can be as good or better than any man next to me. That infuriates some kings, I think, in their own home. And I think in my gut,
traditionally.
Yeah, I think we